Oh, yes, the Piano Man. Okay, Greg Finley is center square. He's in the Spotlight Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com, KDK Watch, or our incredible YouTube page that I just sometimes watch while I'm at home because I love it that much. So I've known Greg a long time, and we exchange text messages. He's a big part of my career. I'd be lost without him. Get here early on the weekends, helps me with my social media, my sports, does stuff behind the scenes that many of you will never know, but he truly is the wizard behind the screen or the curtain. But usually when he texts me, it's about sports, either hockey, NBA, Pirates, Steelers, whatever. But I get this just like, hey, man, about Billy Joel the other night. And then I said, I mentioned it on the air. And then he's on the KDK Rewind trying to find it. He's texting me on the air. When did you say it? Where was it at? So I had Rich Engler on the other night, who probably is Billy Joel's best friend right here in Pittsburgh. No one knows him better. No one can pick up the phone like Rich Engler and get him on the phone. So I said, you know what? This kid is so passionate about this, and he's going to go on and on and on here in just a minute. I said, I'm going to give him some time to talk about it. So why would a guy as young as you, who wasn't even alive when Billy was making all of his hit music that I was playing on the radio as a young entertainer, why do you love Billy Joel so much? I know why I do, and I know why I love this documentary. Looking forward to part 2 tomorrow. May take a couple of days to watch it because it's lengthy. But why do you love this guy?
Oh, I owe it all to my parents. They introduced me to his music, and The River of Dreams, which was an album that his final album in the 90s. I mean, I was born in 1994. I got that album for my birthday on a CD player, and my mom had the greatest hits 1, 2, 3, and 4, the volumes in a 4-disc set. I'd listen to those all the time when we'd go on vacation. I mean, pop one disc in, listen to the whole thing. Second disc. I mean, you'd go 1 through 4 on an 8-hour trip to Myrtle Beach or to Ocean City, Maryland. And so, as I continue to get older and YouTube became a thing, I was able to look up more of his music other than just the greatest hits. And I just fell in love with his music. Just have always been a fan of him. And, Rob, when you watch this documentary, you can just see how talented this guy really was. I mean, as a kid, he's doing piano lessons and his mom wants him to play sheet music, and he's making up his own versions of Beethoven and Bach and all these guys.
Quit high school.
So he can get it past his mom. She thinks that he's playing the music that he's supposed to be playing. He's playing his own thing.
Well, here's what I also took from it, and I took a lot from it. And I'm not just saying this, but a lot of parallels to my life. And I'll explain in just a minute because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You're old enough. Now that you're over 30, I can talk to you like my oldest son. Obviously, he had some addiction issues, tried to take his life, but he grew up in a very just bad household. Dad didn't treat him well, left when he was 8. But what he had, I had the exact same thing. A mother who believed in me. When most men of my generation were going into the mill, my dad said, look, these mills are going away. You better figure out what you're going to do. My mother was the one who always said, you'll make it. I believe in you. Gave me a little extra money when I needed it, when I was making next to nothing, and nothing would have been nice, okay? But his mother, how he credited her for the single most reason of his success, because no matter how bleak it got, and listen, I've slept on a few floors in a few homes that weren't mine. I've eaten a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we've all had our moments from top of the hill to the bottom, and then when you get to the top, you're so afraid to stop, kind of like Billy Joel, even if you have more money than you need, because you remember how it was to be broke. But his mother was his driving force, as my mother was. That's why I will love my mother till hopefully I meet her again, because even if God would say to me, Elvis Presley's waiting for you, I'd say, listen, just let me see my mom and I'll come back and we'll get caught up with the king, okay? Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe, all these people I love and admire. Yeah, I got to get to my mom. Even before my dad, all my grandparents, my mom was such a bright light. My mother listened to me every day on the radio. 3 o'clock in the morning coming in, and you know what it's like, these crazy shifts. My mother was on the phone with me, keeping me awake, even when my dad was saying, would you hang up that phone? Billy Joel, so much of him I could connect to. I'm a little bit younger, but I remember that era. And he grew up in a little community in Long Island. Didn't grow up in the heart of New York. A little community in Long Island that reminded me a lot, other than obviously the water, other than maybe the Ohio River, like I grew up. But this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, then you're going to take it the rest of the way. All those great songs that I played, in those radio studios late at night like this with those big headphones on and the whistle to begin The Stranger and all these things and the broken glass, you may be right, it's only rock and roll to me, all these things, honestly, just the way you are. I didn't realize a lot of it was about his life.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're watching this documentary, it's like the clips of the music tie into the video and the conversation. It's almost like you're watching him rewrite these songs. And these songs now have a whole new meaning to me.
That's why I love the way that they've done this. I mean, they play the song in the background, then he explains, okay, here's how the song actually became the song. And a lot of them are about his first wife, which I didn't really know that much about. And for her to be his producer and his manager, they come out with the Stranger album, and CBS says, we don't see a hit. She said, you're out of your mind. I mean, she went to bat for him because he didn't like having those hard conversations. And she told them, you pick the first song that you think will be a hit, and I will pick the song that will be the hit. And she picked Just the Way You Are, which finished second behind Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
I know.
And ends up winning 2 Grammys. I mean, that's incredible how much... She didn't go to school to learn how to be a manager for music, but she was his driving force. It's incredible.
And I don't think he ever got over her.
I don't either.
I still think to this day, and being married to Christy Brinkley could make you get over anything. But I think down deep, and I get it. It's your first love, and the stepson, the whole story.
Yeah.
And he just seemed like a good guy. But what I also loved about him, which I'm a lot like, you're a lot alike, people don't realize it, but we in this industry, we may sound confident and cocky and, hey, we're brash, we're bold, but we intimidate easy, our feelings get hurt. And him tearing up that review on stage, that happened here in Pittsburgh. That's where because of the City paper. And Rich Engler told that story. Billy Joel could not handle bad reviews. And we know it, you know it. The most prolific songwriter like Lennon and McCartney, Bruce Springsteen, you name them, of all time, Smokey Robinson, all of them, of my generation, maybe even your generation, because that music's still out there, selling out PNC Park. He could not take a bad review. And I get it. I can have the best show of my life, and if one person, even instant access, gives me a little... Now, I'm older. It's a little bit easier now because I am what I am, and I think he's kind of grown into it as well. You learn to handle things the older you get. But when I was in my 40s and 30s, one bad review finished me. I could have had the president in an exclusive interview, one-on-one, and somebody from Wilmerding says, you stink. I would have been crushed for the rest of the show. Not so much now, but when he talked about that, I could totally relate to what he was saying. On top of the world.
Yeah.
And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, and it kind of ties into Hulk Hogan, we were talking about traveling the world and never being home. Being a rock star ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explain about Ozzy the other night, about the addiction issues. And a lot of people don't understand this, but when you're an entertainer and you live your life through your audience and you're basically really not hanging out with real friends at times and family because they're in the background and you're out grinding to make money, you do certain things that you get caught up in that can mask the pain of the loneliness. And that's what happens to a lot of these people. And sadly, some don't survive and some do survive. So it's really amazing. God bless him. But Ozzy Osbourne lived as long as he did.
Yes, I agree.
Keep going.
Oh, I mean, I really enjoyed the first part of this documentary. Really cannot wait for part 2 tomorrow night. And like I said, I just found it interesting learning all these things about his first wife because I really didn't know much about her at all. We'll find out later on that he's going to hire her brother to now be his producer, and I know how that ends.
Let's be honest. She was special, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I think she was like one of the best parts of that documentary.
Absolutely.
Because you could see, she talked about the music, how we listen to it, but what she remembers, the sunlight going through his hair, sitting at the piano, her son playing in the background while the music, that's when she hears those songs, that's what she remembers. And I think she realized that the only way he would soar, that she had to step away.
Yeah.
And if she wanted to have any life with her child, she had to step away.
It was also nice, though, that she was with him during the time that they were doing all the traveling. Because if she wouldn't have been his manager, she never would have seen him.
Listen, as much as he told you, believe me, I've been an entertainer a long time. As a matter of fact, my handle is The Entertainer. It's always been, because that's what I am. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a sports anchor. I'm not a news anchor. I'm an entertainer, and that's what I do. But it's probably a whole lot more deeper than, that's why this thing is so long, because he probably got so many backstories, some of it would frighten you. When Tommy Lee, the rock drummer, said that he had to leave the room partying with Ozzy Osbourne because he was frightened, that just goes to show you. I mean, we're talking a reckless lifestyle. Billy Joel, with all that talent, tried to take his life. So what that proves is mental illness is real, and if you have issues, 988, that number's out there, reach out. If Billy Joel can have issues, don't feel bad. It's not you. It's a part of life. Everybody has them. It was so well done. I'm going to let you come back for another segment because I want to give you more time. But it's a game changer. And I think everybody who's loved Billy Joel as long as I have, they'll understand him and love him even more. And when I hear young people like you so passionate and the excitement in your voice, that makes me feel even better. Think about it, though. Turn the Lights Out, the first one since that Rivers of Dreams, 1998. You know why he didn't ever release new music? Because he didn't want to fail. You realize between those albums that he had, The Stranger, 52nd Street, Glass Houses, those 3 albums, there will never be 3 consecutive albums that dominate like those albums do.
And he wrote Famous Last Words as his final song on River of Dreams because he said, I have nothing left to say.
Can I tell you something? That's the first time I heard this song.
Really?
And I heard it again today.
Such a good song.
It is. Come on back. Take me to break. Come on back. Greg Finley. We're going to wrap it up. So It Goes, Billy Joel, HBO, second part coming up tomorrow. All right, stay with us. All right, now we're back in the controls of the pilot who makes it all happen, Greg Finley. What else about this thing? So It Goes, Billy Joel.
It's just interesting to me, Rob, whenever he was young. I mean, he was a very quiet kid and just, he did some different types of music styles, different types of hairstyles. He didn't find his niche and didn't become Billy Joel until the Stranger album. And I didn't really know that about him, that when he was younger, he was very quiet and not a loser, but he just, he didn't have many friends and just kind of hung out by himself. He didn't go to school. He would read history books, and his sister told that story, which I found interesting. And he drops out of high school right before graduation because he knew, he told his mom and said, I'm going to get signed by Hollywood Records. I don't need to go to college, and ends up getting signed by Hollywood Records. And it's just very interesting that he went from very, very broke to $80 million man, and
then they took it away from him again. He got ripped off again.
And we'll find out about that in part 2.
Yeah,
by her brother.
It's horrible. Yeah, horrible. And thank God he found a way to recoup. And here's the other thing: you realize Columbia Records, CBS, legendary brand. Barbra Streisand, Bob Dylan, certain people they've stood by, legendary. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And this guy, Billy Joel. Just 4 that come to mind. Probably the heaviest hitters in music over the last 50 years. Somebody said something, and I want to get your opinion on this. I love Bruce Springsteen. We had Joe Grishecki on the other night talking about Ozzy Osbourne. That's Bruce's best friend, Iron City House Rockers. I heard somebody on a national broadcast that I have a lot of respect for, that Billy Joel's not in the same category as Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I couldn't disagree with that more.
I think they're neck and neck.
I think Billy Joel's one of the greatest musicians of all time.
I'm just curious what Bruce would say to something like that.
Well, Bruce is in the documentary and said nothing but good things about Billy.
But Pink, all these people. And
even Paul McCartney.
I know. That's what's even more amazing because there's not a better songwriter anywhere. And Paul McCartney said, Just the Way You Are, I think it was. He goes, if I could have ever written one song,
yes,
that's the song I wish I would have written.
Yeah. Well, how about the manager for the Beatles or the producer for the Beatles? He tells Billy Joel, I want you, but I only want you. I don't want your band. And Billy stood by his band and said, if you don't love my band, you don't love me. And he turned him down. And
that's the same guy who wanted him to use Elton John's band, and he went, this is going to work.
That was hilarious.
But Elton John and him actually toured together. Elton John is in that same category. Classically trained, basically by himself, but he is that type of piano player, selling out stadiums and arenas, and was doing it back in the 70s at Dodger Stadium, the wild outfits. Truly a rock and roll, but a great song style. So much love for Elton in that same rarefied air. But I think Billy Joel, when you think of how he's able, he did it for years, night after night after night. I know there are 10 million people that live in New York, but to sell out Madison Square Garden for 3 consecutive months, I mean,
Yeah.
and then you see these drone shots of these concerts and the people singing in tandem.
Oh, they love him.
Just to give you an idea how talented he is, try to whistle the opening of The Stranger by yourself. You can't do it. And he did it night, just that alone. Forget about all the jumping around when he was younger and the hard driving piano and keys, smacking the keys. But just try to do that whistle. And he did that live and still does.
And he did it by accident. He said to his producer, he said, what instrument should we use for this? He said, you already did it. You whistled. And he didn't even think about using that until his producer said, you already made it happen by just whistling that part. And that's incredible.
You know, it's ironic. We are getting to a point, meaning my generation, to where just like my parents went through losing Sinatra and Dean Martin in the 90s, it just starts to make you realize it's sad because of where we are, but thank goodness the music will be here forever. You realize this music of Billy Joel's will play every day, every hour for the rest of eternity. As long as there's a planet Earth,
yeah,
that music will be being played somewhere.
Agreed.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Favorite song?
Yeah.
Man, there's so many good ones. I would say Miami 2017 is a really good one. Scenes from Italian Restaurant.
Great song.
Allentown, I really like that one. Yeah, those are probably my top 3.
That's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
And, he's such a storyteller.
Yes.
And what really brought it together was him talking about the song and then them inserting those lyrics with the backdrop that basically was like his canvas as a painter would, paint it.
Mm-hmm.
His mind must just be incredible.
And then he gets himself in the doghouse when he writes negative things about his relationship.
Well, you know what I said on one of my blogs? Taylor Swift's not the only one.
It's true.
I mean, think about it. She basically, and she's a tremendous musician. She's just an incredible singer, but she's a storyteller.
Yes.
And she takes her personal stories, kind of like we do in radio, and we share them with the audience because one person, 2, 3, 4, different face, different place, different name, but we all kind of share in the same journey that is life. Job well
Agreed.
done.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me on.